Jersey has been home to some of the greatest minds to ever bless hip-hop. Jersey artists are able to feel the energy of New York, while bringing an outsider perspective to the culture. As hip-hop's sixth decade begins to take shape, Fatboi Sharif, who lives in Rahway, is the latest in a long line of Jersey rappers set up to lead the culture into a new realm of artistry. Known as the Garden State Gargoyle, Sharif is perched on a skyscraper of sound. His aerial view gives him the ability to see the past, the present, and the future of the genre, able to swoop in to fill in the blanks, finding places in the music that has never been explored. Over the past 7 years, Fatboi Sharif has not only been building up his catalog of music, but he has been building worlds, with each release showcasing his talents as one of the most distinct voices in the next generation of underground hip-hop. Fatboi Sharif fell in love with hip-hop at an early age, drawing inspiration from artists such as Eminem, Tech Nine, and Redman. Along with these lyrical legends, he was also drawn to metal and hardcore music, and these two lanes combined to power both the lyricism and attitude of his musical persona later on. After competing in and winning numerous poetry competitions in elementary school, he started writing raps once he got to the 5th grade. He would spend the next few years sharpening his skills, freestyling and writing, making music behind the scenes, leading up to his debut album Age of Extinction, which was released in 2016. On this project, Sharif shares the shine with Sidetrack Imperial, and the duo comes out of the gate swinging swords and slinging heat stock with style. At this point, Sharif had already been writing raps for about a decade, so he had been honing his skills behind the scenes, waiting for this moment. Compared to his later work, this album sounds much more familiar, almost feeling like a lost gem from a Wu-Tang affiliate. He would go on to refine his unique style later on, but here you can still hear the moments of the Sharif that we know now, with his insane imagery and off-kilter delivery.
Backwards to the Ultimo Dragon, everlasting, never had since. From a youngster playing in traffic, dreams have been lying overseas with a Latin on a mission with dead body parts in Aspen.
He followed that up 2 years later with his album Ape Twin. This is his first true solo album, and you can hear that in the music. The rapping on Age of Extinction was faster, more akin to most underground rap that you'll hear, but on Ape Twin he unveils his trademark Fatboi Sharif style. He's at his best when he's rapping slowly, lurking over the beat, forcing the listener to hear every single word, no matter how disturbing and off-putting it may be.
Space drones, breath control, 8 crates long, liquid napalm, inhale to face gone, lead spun, devilish rear fronts, severe drums, uphill, craterweight breadcrumbs.
5 different producers handled tracks on here, with track 5 being produced by Roper Williams, opening the door for Roper and Sharif to become one of the most dynamic rapper-producer duos on the come-up. The duo made their official debut together with their 2021 album Gandhi Loves Children. This is the album that officially put Fatboi Sharif on the map, and for good reason. This is him in all of his glory, fully formed. The duo's chemistry is incredible. In fact, the project feels like it came from one fucked up mind, with Fatboi displaying the nightmarish narration of his worldview, and Roper lining the walls of his mind with this beautiful production. And you can hear the evolution of his sound here too. It's not all the minimalist darkness of songs like I'm Buggin' and Stigmata. The tracks Fly Pelican and Smithsonian come back to back and showcase a level of crowd-pleasing lyricism, with Sharif rapping these hooks that are permeated with the same notions of chaos and conspiracy, but here he makes them legitimately catchy.
Sky settled in cyanide, mescaline, tie-dye evidence. Flying pelican, my kingdom, heaven sent. When they pressured him, hover Mount Everest, carried by 5 elephants.
I was able to catch a Fatboi Sharif performance in Jersey City earlier this year, and when these songs would come on, the entire audience would be rapping along with them word for word. This album was also executive produced by one of Sharif's closest collaborators, DJ Bugavelli, and with the 3 of their expert ears working on this, it's easily one of Sharif's best records to date. Fatboi Sharif released 2 projects in 2022, splitting the atom of his interests down the middle, with Cyber City Society tackling his love for science fiction, and Preaching in Havana embracing his interests of the occult. Sharif is a huge movie buff, with the love of abstract and art house cinema that's present in all of his music, and when he and one producer lock in to create an album, it really feels like they're creating a new movie. The sound is so singular that you can see it, just like the films that inspired him so much. Cyber City Society is a 6-track EP, entirely produced by Lone Sword. This album feels like it's from the future. Not that there's futuristic synths and instruments, but more so that this album feels like it's too much for our 2023 brains to compute. It feels like living inside the head of a robot who is slowly gaining consciousness. It's unlike anything I've ever heard.
Seance, laughter, sparkling caveman disaster, fracture in the vision, wasteland plaster, genius flip coin, for his life saving, start to practice both the guys predatory.
And then Preaching in Havana came out later that year, and delves into his love for horror. This album feels like Fatboi Sharif summoning the Jersey Devil himself. The production is handled entirely by No Face, and he lays out a soundscape that I feel like Sharif has been waiting for his entire life. They redefine the boundaries of what hip-hop can be, using cinematic sampling, demonic distortion, and an aversion to anything expected.
I applied my brains in a hybrid of pain. Decode the facts, so let me explain. Detained unhonorable, force-filled karma noose. Rain Man spared the villain in a farmer suit.
In 2023, Fatboi Sharif reunited with Roper Williams to drop Planet Unfaithful. This was originally planned to be another full LP, but it ended up being cut down to be an all-killer, no-filler appetizer for what's to come later on. This EP expands on what the duo was cooking with Gandhi Loves Children, but this time with the added confidence and experience that time gets them. I've said this before, but this project has a dreamlike quality to it, and for good reason. Fatboi Sharif famously says that a lot of his lyrics come to him in his dreams. When I interviewed him for the first issue of Def magazine, he said, "I describe it as spiritually scene setting. So let's say I get a beat from whoever producer. I'll go to sleep listening to it, and it may have certain colors in the beat, there may be certain shapes in the beat, or it may just give me a picture in my head. And I'm just like, how can I bring this image to life? And I always say God is giving me a message in my sleep that I'm letting the whole world in on. For example, a beat like Cinnamon off of Planet Unfaithful, I might hear that and let it play on a big speaker for about 5 hours. Just sitting, just letting it repeat and repeat. So maybe on the second hour of sleep, I might look and see a picture. Let's say I'm in a classroom. It's a 25-degree classroom, but there's mist coming from the ceiling, and the mist is hot. The mist is 82 degrees. I walk in the classroom and see a room full of children, but their faces are missing. So it's just blurry circles on their faces. I look at the corner of the classroom and I see a purple horse with green hooves. Then I wake up. So literally I'm like, how do I describe this picture? How do I describe this scene with words? It sounds crazy, but when you listen to his music, you can hear the truth in this. His lyrics are lined with references and imagery that are unlike anything of this world, but they still feel comfortable enough to not question them, which is how every dream I have that I remember feels like.
Just snaps, toxic parent, in the Vietnam Valley Ferris. I shot it for God's help, then shot the sheriff. Pigs for sale, blood drip for honey, sex and violence, large scale of Scarface.
He followed that up just a few weeks ago, dropping the album Decay with Steel Tipped Dove. This was recorded at the same time as Preaching in Havana, with Sharif leaving one studio and going right to the other, and you could hear that because he's so locked in on both of these projects. Every Fatboi Sharif album with a new producer creates a new world for him, and this time Steel Tipped Dove taps into a world that is slowly decaying. This album feels like falling into a void as the world falls apart around you.
Apostle speech, the caretaker caught sickness, shared the covenant, Mormons spoke the guys went AWOL, then won the lottery.
This is the first Fatboi Sharif album without any features, and you can feel that this is completely his, and it's his mission to bring you into this world of abstract anarchy and watch it decay around you. As the world is now just peeling back the layers of decay, Sharif is back in the studio crafting new worlds, sitting on top of the building that is underground hip-hop, waiting for his time to swoop down once again and drop what he has coming next. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was a special video because Fatboi Sharif was the first cover artist for Def magazine, and that issue dropped a few months back in the spring. If you guys are interested in checking that out, you can go head over to staydef.com, where we have both physical and digital copies available. In that issue, I had a great interview with Sharif, where we go deep into his catalog, his process, his love for film and how that influences him, and so much more. As always, I want to give a special thank you to our patrons. A digital copy of the magazine is also included if you become a patron. We also have the second issue of Def Magazine dropping this month, so make sure to go follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more updates on that. As always, I got a lot planned for you guys coming up, so stay tuned, stay safe, and stay def. Thanks for watching.